So before I go through this, the reason why we're giving you like the helicopter view of this particular mind map is because this is going to become very, very useful for you when you're about to bring on a setter. Because we highly recommend that you will talk over this on a Loom video to say that this is our structure for what we're trying to achieve with our appointment setting. And this is the flow of conversation that we're trying to do. So I'm going to quickly go through it with you, but Ethan's already gone through the script, but I'm just going to give you the baseline. You will be able to download this, and I would highly recommend you save it. Um, because when you do look at getting your setter on, you can actually walk them through. And I find that when you onboard them with this particular mind map, you're letting them know that this is the game plan, this is a structure, this is a thing we follow, this is our company code. And so it's basically just explaining how it works. So we've got a trigger here. And the beautiful thing about this flow of this workflow, this infrastructure, whatever you want to call it, is that these triggers can be used. Film is just the one form of trigger, right? There's still other triggers that we can do that would activate these particular types of messages. And each trigger can have a set of questions that fire off. So for instance, like networking, it was a pleasure speaking with you last night. So what I would do is when I would go to my agency, I would just collect cards, and what I would be doing is just taking photos and just sending it over to my setter and going to hit them. So I'd take 20 or 30 cards and I'd have 20 conversations going saying it was a pleasure meeting you, and that's the trigger. It could be a response to a C2A. You could put a piece of content out and say, comment below if you've ever gone through this, and then they comment, and then this particular trigger fires it off. It could be that you're running ads because you've dialed it in through the film, and this is the best way to test ads before you even look at ads. I wouldn't even touch ads until this is completely and utterly dialed in. But this here is another trigger. Now, you can customize each part of your marketing and have this set up as automation. That's the magic of it. That's the thing that I feel is the magic pill, is that what is the trigger, and your setter will know what trigger it is because they'll know what time it comes in, because you just tell them, you basically show them if they come through networking, this is the trigger, this fires it off. So what we do is we set off with the overall message, and then the next part of the flow is that if they're not niche specific, they pretty much go to lost. That's it. It's over for me. I can't scale my content. I can't work with everybody and everybody. I have to work with specific people. And so if I was in your agency, this is what I would be telling you guys to do, is like get very specific and be willing to sort of walk away from it. Now, if they are in, then it goes to, nice, I've been running my business for this much time and this for this particular niche, which you've already seen the example. And then we immediately, and timing is really key, is we go into what we call qualifying, which is the goals, the monthly revenue. And what we're looking for here is a certain milestone that we're looking for, whether that particular client is qualified. Now, we do it with numbers. I would do it with numbers depending on what niche, but like, let's say that we are doing lawyers. Now, guys, don't freak out because we're doing lawyers. We're doing lawyers because it's just one of the, I could do it with any one of you. We could do this whole program on any one of you, right? It's just a matter of trying to take what we can and then understanding your industry and then adapting these messages to your specific industry. But you want to have, like, for Brandon, his key milestone could be, we're not going to take on anybody that's not producing 5 cases a month. That is our indication that this is a very good business and that is qualified. So if they're not qualified, let's say they're only doing 3 cases, or they're under, say, 10K a month, they're under 50K a month, depending on what type of client you look. Maybe you only work with clients that are doing $3 million a year, which is typically what I went for. I always went for someone that was doing more than 3 million a year. If they're doing less than that, then I'm going into what we call hard qualifying. And these messages here are for your setter to really dig into them to see if they can work. So just to give you an idea, is if the business is below client avatar range, so if it's low, then what have you been doing so far to try and get to X goal? And is hitting this a major focus for you in 2024, or just a nice to have type of goal? So what we're doing here is like, is this urgent for you? Is this important to you? And then we go into the next question until we eventually get to a question with basically, great. If we could show you what to do, give you a clear direction and give you your dream outcome, it doesn't have to be so cheesy as that. We just say dream outcome, your goal of, 20 extra cases through content planning and, sophisticated content through our creative methods. Would you be willing to invest in our services? And then you wait for their response. Now, if they say no, then they're lost. Forget it. Move on. If they say yes, then they go directly to this. And this is how you would explain it to your setter. So they understand the mechanisms behind where they go and where they don't. So action, then you straight into the yearning, which is this a now thing? And the ultimate goal is to book them. And then you can have other particular types of messages, which is post-call priming, which is about nurturing the client, making sure that you're liking. We have this system called door knocking in our setter group, which is basically like liking people's posts as they're coming closer to their appointment, so they show up. So there's little things that you can do there to sort of amplify their thing. So I'm going to give you guys this for two reasons. One, it's good to look at it from a helicopter view so you understand the full infrastructure, so you understand how this system works. But it's also really, really good, which is going to move us into the next segment, which is when you get your first setter.